Hi everyone, it's Daisy and we are going to do a project on dinosaurs. So one of the species that I've been just looking up, it was called the Lythronax. The Lythronax has a lot of the features just like a T-Rex does. There is only one fossil that's ever been found for this particular dinosaur, and it was near Arizona, America. So it's a North American dinosaur at this point. And what I'd like to discuss is paper management. I want to be able to make a full dinosaur from head to tail, top to toe. And so if I do that, I need to size it accordingly. So for those of you who are new to drawing, maybe let's try an easier way to make sure that we size up. So lightly with your pencil, you're going to start with that, and this is going to be the main body, and I want you to create yourself an oval just like this. So this will become our main body for this dinosaur. Next, you're going to take the back line and extend it away from the body to create the tail. Now the bottom of the tail do not touch the body for right now. Just start about here and go ahead, and as you get closer to the end of the tail, it becomes skinnier, and finish it off. Next comes our neck. So from the front of our body, right about here, I want you to know that if you left a gap, let's talk about how to draw them easily. So we can make the neck 1 and 2. The necks of these dinosaurs was not very skinny. It was kind of it was quite strong. It's a very big muscle. Even in humans, it's the biggest muscle possible. So what you're going to do is, let's imagine this to be the square that represents our neck, body, tail. To connect, you're going to just take a curved line downward and connect up. And then you'll do the same for the bottom part. Once you do this, I need you to take away those lines that you created as sections and start to make them join up. Now our dinosaur, it's called the Lythronax, has got its mouth wide open, and so we're going to work on that next. We'll get to the eye and everything much later, but if I don't draw this way, and if I start from my eye, I may or may not draw the entire dinosaur on my paper. So if I want to get the whole thing on, I would prefer to break it down. Now, the head tends to be a little bit higher than the neck. So if this was my neck, notice there's a little gap here. The bottom jaw is a little bit lower than the bottom of the neck, number 1. Number 2, you're going to bring almost like a backward letter C into the neck, like so, and bring it back out. This will help put the connection of the head to the neck, and you don't have to keep these lines. We do tend to see the curved line that we just made very dominantly because it's like the bone on the dinosaur's body. Next step. If you were to divide from top to bottom into a third, 2/3, and the last 1/3, I want you to find yourself about 2/3 of the way down, and you're going to make a line right here. Push straight line upward diagonally, and now bend over like this, and the front of its jaw comes as a curved line. So this does the top half of our dinosaur's jaw. The bottom is much more skinnier, so we want to be closer. So we're going to try almost like making a triangular position here. Now lift it up a little bit more steeper to get to the back of the mouth, and there you go. Close up like this. The eye of the Lythronax is supposed to be just before the end of the mouth, right over here. So it's a very tiny eye. It is a small circle with a dot right here. Now, the nose is right about here, And I want to take away a little bit more of the flesh from this point. I want to make it a little bit more curved to the front. Just like that. Next, the teeth. The teeth are very sharp. It's carnivorous. That means it's a meat eater. It produces babies by way of eggs. That's the information that we have found about this particular dinosaur. When you make the teeth, notice that I'm not doing a zigzag pattern. I make one tooth at a time. The bottom jaw, now I want you to look at what's going to happen. We've made the top jaw. You're going to make another line just before the end right here and bring down a line. This gives us a feeling of the mouth being open and we can see on the inside of our jaw. Next, the bottom teeth, 1, so we can see teeth to the front side, and we also don't want to see the line. So after you draw it, you can erase away everything one time. What will happen is you will still see the ghost line for all your teeth, and you just want to redraw what you want to keep on there. That's how we would make sure we don't have any overlapping lines. And then we are going to go and make the back row of teeth. Now, the back row of teeth cannot be taller than the front row. Keep that in mind. It's the rules on perspective. And this ought to cover the most of it up. Now, put a curved line behind the eye right here. Hold on. And we are going to have a muscle curve right here in front of the eye. So this little extra line that I keep seeing, gonna get rid of that. These are the few details. I'll try to keep it a little bit simple so it doesn't start feeling too like it's too much suddenly. And of course, the left cheek also has some flesh. So this curve that I just made, when I take my colors, I'll color only this part pink because it's the skin. It's like, you know how in reptiles you get skin between their fingers and their toes, and it helps it helps them paddle through water. It's very transparent, very skinny, much skinnier than the rest of their body. So that's what you're looking at. Now remember, this is just the basic outline of our dinosaur. Now, we want to give our dinosaur a little bit more on the tummy. So I'm going to add a little line here. But as you go to the back, I need to drop it just a little bit more, bring it up, and like right there. Once I create this line, I can get rid of all my ovals and my straight lines. This is the main body of my Lythronax. Now, our next step is we're going to make our legs. So pay attention, eyes on the video, please. We won't make the front arms first. We'll make the legs instead. So right at this back portion of the body, this is where the legs are deeply inset into the body. They come just a little bit past the main body itself, and you have the top of the leg. Then the leg should bend backward, just like this. And the back leg, so I can erase away this line for right now. We don't need it. The back leg, I cannot make it a straight line. That won't make sense. So what you need to remember is the calf muscle. So you have a little bit of a swell here, and then you come down. Now to connect them, you just connect the top with the bottom. Next, the foot comes out one part, and then the second part. So remember, if you've seen my videos on how to draw the human body and hands, the palm of the hand, well, this is the main sole of the foot. From here, you would say that you would spread out his toes. And at that point, you would put down your 3 toes and everything. Yep, that's what he's got. I'm checking through references and pictures as we're working on this drawing. And so you've got the furthest away skinniest, second, like this. And you want to put a claw in front of each of these. So I make the claw and I close it. Then I can wrap my toe flesh around my claw like that. Next step, same claw, close it and wrap the flesh around it. Last claw and wrap the flesh around it. That makes for a proper foot for a dinosaur. You do not need to hold the line that's inside of the body. It's just to show you how would you draw the leg of a mighty animal like the Lythronax. Now, the arm. You remember where we had the front of our body right here? Do you remember that part? This will now move into its arm. So the arms, just like the T-Rex, very tiny arms. One. So you make one bubble like this. This is the top of the arm. The bottom would be step 2. And step 3 would come out like this. Remember, top of your arm, your lower arm, and this is the palm of your hand. And now you get the claws. And so you can have make the fingers and make the claws that come into it. So 1, 2, there we go, and this and this. Now, the easy way to look at this particular dinosaur, of course, animals such as these, they would, when they're on the move, their bodies change positions, the muscles look different, everything is exactly as we think of it, right? That's all fine. So, but if you wanted to say that this was a standing dinosaur and we want to make the leg on the other side, the simplest way would be add the next line. So you could put it here, here. So this is a person that is like a perfect model, this particular dinosaur. And it's just standing perfectly and we can see everything. In essence, it wouldn't be this way, but this is the easy way to approach the parallel line that would be seen on the other side. So again, remember the toes on the second foot have to look way more smaller than the one on this side. They cannot look bigger like this. So that would be our feet. The arm, we could do it from the front or the back, whichever one you prefer. So you just make your parallel line just like this, and of course, and then here comes your hand like this. And now in essence you made the full dinosaur, and this will be fine for right now. Last step, the transitional phase between the underbelly and the top, that's what we're going to be coloring. So the neck has got, it's not a straight line, so cannot draw a straight line. From behind the arm, we're going to get a few high peaks. Like this. And on the tail, we go up a little bit more straighter, and then we are going to be making ourselves a few sections. Just like this. So when you color, the bottom side will be white. The top side will get the color. So for right now, for our young friends, we are going to be starting off this video with just the very basic information on how you can draw dinosaurs. What do you look for when you work on dinosaurs? So that's what we're going with. We are going to be using a combination of crayons and watercolor with this particular dinosaur. And so the way that we are going to do it is we're going to work in actually the white first. I have one more place to place patches on. So that would be the eye. The eye has got like a box wrapped around it here. That stays white. And then the jaw area has got an irregular kind of a white patch up until the nose, and it comes back down. The bottom right here has got a white patch to the middle. The other two sides will be colored. These become all our sections that we want to color up. Next step, you're going to place the horizon line. So I'm going to go ahead and place my horizon line right about here. Just like that. Horizon line, please remember, is the line where the land meets the sky. If the dinosaur is in a marsh or a swampy kind of area, that will be where the ground meets the land. So this could be water, and that could be trees and marshlands. So we can see what we want to do. So step one, I need to go organize myself in white. So I need to use a white first. Why? Because the wax on this white, there's one more place for my white patch. Sorry about that, folks. So we are going to add a little bit of a white here. Now, I'm going to use my white to color in. It's important that you do this with a strong hand. Don't be nice and gentle. The wax from the crayon is going to be putting in barriers where you don't want the green to go. So this particular dinosaur has got a green, like a sage green, forest green kind of a body color that we are going to be inserting into it. So when I block out this area, and I don't need to go buy anything fancy from the market at all. All I need right now is a simple crayon and some watered down colors. If you don't have watercolors at home, that's okay. You don't have to feel like, well, you can't really do this project. You can definitely do the project, just work with some watered down colors. So this is white. This is right there. Try to be as accurate with your application of the white as possible. Why? Because this is where your colors would kind of be able to move around and everything. Next, the fleshy part in the mouth and to the back of the mouth is going to be like on a pink side. So I'm going to go ahead, use my crayon still. We're not going to try to do too many different color types. If you have crayons at home, definitely use those right now, folks. So you want to do that. If you don't like how strong a color is, they pack you a white crayon in these boxes, and that can help you kind of eliminate some of the overly brighter areas that come down. Sometimes you can't anticipate what a color would look like once you put it in. So it's important to check it out on a scratch sheet. Next step, I've got some colors ready over here next to me, and I'm going to go ahead and start coloring in my dinosaur, but I want to make the tones a little bit darker than normal so that you can see. Okay, so step one, going to carefully always hold, if you're painting, get a round tip brush for a subject such as this where you're going to be in and out of a lot of areas and it's a small area. So you're going to go ahead and apply and nice and easy, take your time. Do not make this a rushed process. Please don't do that to yourself. I'm not a big proponent of people wanting to do things very, very fast. I feel it takes away from some really good results that you could possibly get. Watercolors or any watered down colors will move an extra leg if you get just a tiny bit of water. So after you've applied your colors and you feel like you still want to get a little bit more spread on the same colors without using full strength additional colors, take a little bit of water and just water it down. I'm going to also apply the green in here. Inside a crevice of the mouth, not to the tongue, absolutely not to the tongue. And be careful, taking care to not get on the teeth. If you're looking for ways to improve your art, or if you're just wanting to learn how to work on different subjects, we cover all of that in our videos. And I want you to know that you please feel free to rewind and stop this video as many times as is necessary for you to feel comfortable with the pace of the video. Going to use a little bit of water and I'll spread the color back. I don't need a little dot of watercolor paint, goes an extremely long way to helping us achieve the results that we want to achieve. Don't be nervous. If you are one of those people that always relies on dry media like pencil colors or markers because you don't like the fact that it's hard to control liquid media, honestly, the trick of it is your pace. You don't have to move too fast. Go section by section and allow yourself the time to put in all that you may want to. I always encourage all my students that I work with, please slow down. This is not a race. We are not trying to see who finishes first. So please don't strive for that. We are trying to get you to understand how much actually you can achieve by way of how well you apply your colors and how well you move the paint brushes. Please take some time and enjoy your art. Don't know if you saw that. If you can zoom the video and just have a look at what just happened. The crayons that we put down first are pushing the liquid paint away from it. They don't want it there. So even if I go close to my line, look at how it readjusts itself. Based on the way that I colored the white parts in, it's going to push the paint away so that you can have your clean patterns on the dinosaur's body. Now, let's do a second thing. We put white down and it should technically help us kind of make sure that we stay in our area. So watch what happens. I'm going to start applying my liquid paint over the entirety of those areas. And let's see what we've got here. And we're going to move the colors back and forth, make them look a little bit more natural. And for you to see in the video, clean your brush off and rub your brush tip over the crayon area, and you will see that the paint is just waiting to be wiped off. Do not ever take too much water to your picture. That's what gets away from you. It's not the paint, it's how much of the paint you take and how you want to apply it. Now, from all the species that people have found fossils on, did you know that the dinosaur bones were spread out over the entire planet? It is not just in America. There's a lot of dinosaurs that were found in the Asian subcontinent, and as well as Europe, as well as Antarctica. They were all over the place. Going to wash off my brush, but take a little bit of the regular color and add some color to my dinosaur's eye. And now I'm going to take a little bit of black and put in my claws so that I don't wait till the very last minute to do so. Because if I don't do his claws, he will look like a clawless dinosaur, and I can promise you the one thing you do not want to do is underestimate the might of a dinosaur. You know for a fact that they existed thanks to our scientists that have studied the remains and given us so much information to work with. Now, this is a basic profile to the side. I want to make this a little bit darker on certain bone structure points. So for example, the nose. I'm gonna go ahead and put this here. I'm going to darken the shadow behind my dinosaur's neck, right about here. And again, notice that the white crayon is pushing my paint application away. It does not want it, it doesn't need it. The bottom area of my dinosaur's head, going to make this come in a little bit darker. This is an added step. You don't have to do this if you feel uncomfortable with it. That's perfectly fine. Okay, and then we want to have a little bit darkness right here in the back area, and a little bit in the armpit of my dinosaur's arms. We want to kind of trace up a little bit of an outline, almost as if it were a shadow, not everywhere. So the one thing you don't want to do is make a black line all around the parameters of your dinosaur. That's not right. Now we're going to be adding, if you wanted to add a backdrop to our dinosaurs, you could do that. I'm going to show you really fast what you would do. It's a swamp. So one of the things that you need to remember is, because it's a swamp, you will take the green that you had for your dinosaur, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to add it in. I want to make sure I don't poke my dinosaur way too much. I'm putting flat strokes with my brush, moving away from my dinosaur's body. So these are the ripples in my water. Notice how simply I'm just adding them on, and move away from the body. Don't just stroke any which way you want to. So you want to constantly move away, 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 away. And you want to check what you've done before you bring in your darker tone. This is my basic green. Now I'm going to bring in my black from the outside. So that would mean I would try to apply the black where my green is not. If you weren't to make a dinosaur, if you're looking at this video and saying, well, I want to do a T-Rex, most of my kids would love to do a T-Rex first. That's not a problem, because this particular dinosaur, the Lythronax, is in the T-Rex family. Look at its bone structure and everything, and it's very close. Now, even despite that, if you say, no, it's not a T-Rex, I'm going to do a T-Rex, just keep the foundation in your mind as you get a picture of a T-Rex, and you start to apply it. So look at the way the water effect has been created. And you can create just basic effects. Now if you wanted to do the background, again, this area behind it, you can do it with trees or whatever else you want. But at this point, I'm going to stop the video because I wanted to share the drawing more than anything else with a coloring style. I'm going to do a second picture on the exact same dinosaur, but a much harder one. So look for that one. If you want to challenge yourself, look for my harder drawings. But otherwise, use the foundation of this one to work on an image of a T-Rex. I promise you, you won't go wrong. Thank you for watching.